Right, it's 1:45. We all have that favourite teacher that inspired us and pushed us up to be a better version of ourselves. Well, for two young men, James Dyer and Will Benson, Ian Bell was that teacher. He taught film at West Herts College. He passed away unexpectedly a couple of years ago, and they've made a short film called Hometown in honour of their favourite tutor. I like recognising good teachers. Why was he such a good teacher?
Wow, I think Ian he served as such kind of an inspiration to all of his students, albeit the year group that me and Will were in, or any sort of year group that he taught previously, kind of thing. He was always kind of there for you as a tutor, sort of supporting you. He was so kind of, he'd be that person that would, as you're about to sort of give up on it, he'd say, just give it one more try. Don't just write anything off just yet. And yeah, I think he served as a real inspiration and a role model to anyone who's studying on the film course.
Well, what about his filmic inspiration? There's one thing to be a human inspiration, but what about his film side?
As James said before, he always pushed us to carry on more. And when I went to university, with my application, he was just saying, like, you keep pushing yourself. Like, when I got grades that just below, he was always pushing me to sort of keep going. And you know, he said, "Oh, don't worry. If you don't quite get them grades, I'll help and I'll put out and I'll show them your films, etc." And he always inspired us to sort of make the films to a deadline as well, which is always good because with film industry, you've so many deadlines, and he was just pushing us a lot, which is really, really good. And I really enjoyed Ian because he was good, as I said before, he's a good person, and he's also a great tutor, mentor. Also, film is such an ephemeral, almost intangible thing to teach, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those. Film's so subjective as well, and I think that's why I'm so kind of obsessed with sort of the film industry and filmmaking as a whole. Because if film does anything, it certainly draws conversation and it draws opinions, and that's why there's so many genres, and films that appeal to some people won't appeal to others. But the whole point is it leaves a discussion, and you can be talking for days or hours afterwards saying, "Oh, but why do you like this?" Or like, "Oh, I really love this." And it opens up such a discussion between you and your friends and almost society in general, because film is such a mainstream sort of part of our culture.
But then the other why question is, why would you want to do film studies? Because let's face it, it is not an easy career to make your way in, or indeed make any money in.
Yeah, that's very true. But then also as well was that every filmmaker had that same problem and situation when they were a kid. You can look at Spielberg, you can look at Tarantino, you can look at anybody. They all had struggles. They all had to sort of overcome these struggles, had to push on. I always remember a musician, Kanye West, always said, people said to him, "Oh, don't try and go music. You know, it's gonna fail. It's not gonna work." Even his own mother said it to him. But I always quite like the idea that he said, "No, I want to do what I want to do in life. If I want to make music, I'll go make music. If I want this, I'll do that." Which I thought was a good mentality for life, because filmmaking is such a hard thing to get into, and you have to push yourself. You have to make sure that you're committed to it. It takes months and months and months to sort of do it.
Who's Harry Smith?
Harry Smith is a friend of mine from back home.
Oh, he says, "Tell Will he's my hero." Thought it was going to be your brother or someone you knew quite well.
Yeah, he's a close mate, yeah.
There we go. Will, I need to tell you from Harry that you're his hero.
Oh, I'm very honoured.
So the idea for this short film, and I'm actually going to be able to play the audio from it. I'll do that in a moment. It's quite Eurovision-esque, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, one of the when I sort of started developing the idea, it drew inspiration from bizarrely from Eurovision, because whenever they're about to introduce the bands on, they always have these little videos of the band and their home country.
Don't they?
Yeah, I think they refer to them as postcard videos. Yeah. And one year, a couple of years ago, they had this art style where everything looked like it was like this little model village.
Right.
And that, I found it really endearing at the time. I was like, that's really, it looks really aesthetically really pretty, and I really like it. So,
and you thought, maybe I could make Watford look pretty.
Exactly. Yeah,
it's a bit of a task.
I just threw that into the mix. I was wondering why. But you see, by the way, in a way you're wrong, because Watford has got some great Art Deco buildings.
Yeah, it does,
you look at the town hall, and it has this reputation of being a bit of an urban jungle. And let's face it, parts of it are. Yeah. But also, there's a lot of 1920s, 1930s stuff that is very aesthetic, and some pretty churches as well.
I work as an usher at the Watford Palace Theatre.
Right.
on and off, and that's a good example actually of a very sort of Edwardian. I think it's a grade 2 listed
It's beautiful.
building. Yeah, it's gorgeous.
So you engaged Jan. Who's Jan?
Jan is the poet who wrote Hometown, the poem. And basically, when I came up with this bizarre let's Eurovision Watford idea, I thought the thing that would really tie these time lapses together would be to have some poetry running underneath it and make it a very sort of poetic piece. So I started getting in touch with local sort of literature societies and writers, and trying to find a group out there that would be willing to sort of share some poetry. And I came across a group called Watford Writers.
Yes.
And I was in touch with a lovely lady called Helen, and she said, "Yeah, we can put you in touch with our poets and have them email you." So 3 or 4 poets emailed me back with their almost like their back catalogue of work. I had so many Watfordy poems to read through. It was amazing. And then Jan sent her poem Hometown, which I didn't discover until I went to get her to record it. I didn't discover that she'd written it after being approached of, there's a filmmaker who wants to make a film, and she just took up the opportunity to write a poem on Watford just because it had been asked for.
A pond where cattle used to drink. At Christmas there's a skating rink. Just one change that time has made for shoppers using the parade. The town hall in its 30s style has surely gone the extra mile. Its famed acoustics work so well for those recording work to sell. The football club's a hornet's nest. No room here for second best. Now playing in the Premier League with not a sign of match fatigue. Once the grounds of an estate, the park now shares a different fate. Enjoyed all year by young and old, its timeless story still untold. And daily papers, magazines that came to life on great machines no longer leave in tons and reams of fact and fiction, thoughts and dreams. Audentior, more boldly go, when riding high or riding low. A place to live and learn and think that wrote its name in printing ink.
She sounds like Pam Ayres. Do you know Pam Ayres?
No, I don't.
She sounds very much like Pam. I've forgotten that Audentior is the Latin slogan for Watford. So when I watched the video for the first time, she said al dente. I thought she was saying al dente or perhaps better cooked. I thought she was had pasta momentarily. There's of course a large Italian community in Watford.
Just gonna give a little food review.
Yes, exactly. Just in the middle of it. So the pasta was okay, but a little bit too al dente. What are you hoping to achieve with the short movie? Because it has been shown, hasn't it?
It has. Yeah, it went to Scotland for Feel the Real International Film Festival, and then it came more locally, I guess, it went to Croydon International Film Festival. So it made 2 film festival selections.
Done well.
And it's now going to be screening alongside the sort of the mainstream films when the big screen gets set up in the parade at the end of this week. So
really, so my listeners can actually see this film by going. When did you say it starts at the end of this week? The big screen.
The first screening is Saturday, and it will be ahead of the 5 p.m. film. So
how lovely!
I'd say around 4:45 probably.
Do you know what films they've got on there as part of the festival?
It's a lot of really
it's mainstream, is it?
Yeah, really big, recognised.
films.
From a brief look, I think it was La La Land is in there. Harry Potter, Prisoner of Azkaban. Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, Pete's Dragon. There was a load of films aimed at all audiences of all.
Very impressive that from a quick look. That's what here we go. I've actually got it up here. Big screen on the beach.
That's
okay. So Moana, which is brilliant, but we don't
Good
say
film.
that. We don't say that out loud. Okay, but it's a great film.
Keep
Do you want me
the
to sing?
secret safe
Do
with
you
me.
want me to sing the song from it?
Please
If you
do.
want to.
Please do.
Moana. They've got Dirty Dancing. It's a nice one to go and see in the open air on the beach, isn't it? Kong Skull Island, can't recommend that. Finding Dory, definitely can recommend that. Pete's Dragon is a beautiful film. La La Land, Marmite for me.
Oh, I love that film.
Did you love it?
Oh, I loved it.
I'm on the fence. Like I get why La La Land won the Oscars. I do understand it. For me, it wasn't exactly my cup of tea, but I do
agree.
understand why people.
But that ending, What's the point? Sing. Did you like Sing?
Haven't seen it.
I haven't seen Sing either.
Did not like Sing at all. Did not like the stereotyping in it. I've talked about that on air before. BFG, wonderful. Big Fish, wonderful.
Great film.
Aladdin, wonderful. The Addams Family, haven't seen it. Sister Act, classic. Lion King, Back to the Future Part 2, not as good as Part 1. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. The Lego Batman movie, amazing as we all know. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, amazing. Sully, seen it or not?
Nope.
Haven't seen it.
Good film, not quite historically accurate. All about Captain Sully. What's his name? Chesley Sullenberger, who landed the plane on the river. I can't remember the river in New York.
Hudson.
Hudson. Thank you very much. Secret Life of Pets, very funny. Rogue One, Mamma Mia, Monsters Inc., Beauty and the Beast, Arrival, and Pride and Prejudice. That's a pretty amazing lineup of films. If you want to find out more about that, go to watfordbigevents.co.uk. There we go. Just pulled that out of the hat just in time. And you're going to be shown on, when did you say?
So Hometown will take all of the Saturday screenings ahead of the 5 p.m. film. So
this week and the week after ahead of the 5 p.m. film.
Yeah, this Saturday ahead of 5 p.m. and then every other Saturday for the whole month of August.
Good stuff. Well done. You're going to go and watch it on the beach?
Yes, I'm not available this weekend to watch it, unfortunately, because I'm in Manchester covering another event. But I'll be available for the 5th of August. Yeah, I'll be down
Good
for
stuff. Watfordbigevents.co.uk if you want to go and see the films, and if you're at the Saturday 5 p.m. screening, you can see this film. And even if you're not, you can just watch it from the side as you walk past. Yeah, I didn't say that though, did I? That would be wrong. But you can just catch them in if you want to. Good luck with both your careers, Abe, and I hope that your teacher continues to inspire you as much as he clearly.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's a nice short movie, and isn't it interesting how with a little bit of tight editing and creativity as well, how you can bring our local places to life. And I'm of the belief, you know this well by now, that all of our local places are beautiful in one way or another. They've all got their history, they've all got their soul. And in that video, it brought out the Town Hall and the Palace Theatre and Canterbury Park and all of the great places that I've grown up with in and around Watford, a place that I hold in very, very great affection indeed. watfordbigevents.co.uk, and in fact there's a number of these across the 3 counties over the summer. Outdoor film screenings. I mean, admittedly, looking out the window, whether not looking ideal for outdoor film screenings, but if you keep up to date with your local events, a number of outdoor film screenings. And actually, while I'm talking about film screenings throughout the summer, a lot of the local theatres are carrying performances from the Royal Opera House and the Royal Ballet and the such like. So if you fancy a little bit of high-end West End culture, go and catch those at your local theatres and cinemas as well. Well worth it for the summer holidays. It's Nick Coffer here on 3 Counties.